welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new to my YouTube channel, please remember to subscribe to my channel and to like my videos. So I have a super special video prepared for you guys today. I'm going to tell you guys my story and share my testimony with you guys. So if you guys are interested in that, please stay tuned for more to come. Wow, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I told you guys that I have my testimony prepared for you guys today. So I don't actually know where to start, like where do you start, because I've been on such an amazing journey till here and I've met so much incredible people. It really means so much to me. So I guess I'll just start by the beginning. So I was abandoned when I was 2 weeks old by my birth mother, sorry about that. And I lived for 10 days. I was just living on water. And then she then decided, okay, I'm gonna throw her away. And she abandoned me and she threw me away at the dustbin. And the police found me. And I was already like 10 days on water. And dying basically of starvation. So I was a very sick baby because I was premature. I was born on 7 months, so I was premature. And okay, so what then happened is police found me at the dustbin and they took me to a place of safety. And at that time, my mom I have now, their house was a place of safety. So they would then take in all the abandoned children and then they will then give them love and warmth and care. And they really welcomed me into their home and into their hearts, and I was very fortunate. However, that was not without any challenges. So they would eventually find homes for all the abandoned babies, and I was the last baby. But I was very sick. My lungs were underdeveloped. I was basically a starving baby. Not all of my organs and stuff were developed because I was premature. So what happened is I was 2 weeks old. I can think about 2 weeks old, they found me. And then when I was 2 years old, I had very bad fever. And the fever was so bad that I broke into like fever fits. And eventually I just collapsed. And basically I stopped breathing all the way from the home to the hospital. And my lungs just, they were just not working anymore. I had no oxygen. And so that entire time I was out of breath. And when they arrived at the hospital and they put me down, on the hospital bed, I basically started drawing my first breath for the first time ever. Since that moment I collapsed. So that was pretty amazing. So, but the doctors basically said, don't adopt this baby. She has been too long without oxygen. She's gonna have brain damage. I don't recommend you guys adopt her. And my parents said, no, you know what, we're gonna adopt her. We have fought for her. We prayed for her. And we're gonna keep her. So they decided to adopt me. And no brain damage whatsoever. I went to preschool. And I must say, I was a very, very cheeky little girl. I was very spoiled because at that time my parents had their own children. So I was like the youngest. And at that time I think my younger brother still lived with us. But I was still a very lonely child because the age differences were so big. So I said I was very spoiled. And then I went to primary school and I had a lot of challenges because I grew up in a post-apartheid South Africa. So racism was still a very big thing in South Africa at that time. So I experienced critique from both sides. I struggled to make friends and I struggled to fit in because my parents is white and I am black. People always wanted to know, why is my parents white and I am black, and why don't I look like my parents? And obviously I always wondered, why don't I look like my parents? But I didn't really care because they loved me and they accepted me just the way I am. I grew up in a very loving house with very lovable people and very lovable parents, and even my older siblings, they just welcomed me into their lives and into their hearts. So I'm very, very thankful for that. So the children were very funny. My parents went through a lot of critique on why they decided to adopt this black baby. Like I said, it was post-apartheid. And they said, you know what, we prayed for her. We asked God, please God, do not let this baby die. And God didn't let me die. And they decided they're going to adopt me. So at school, the children were mean. I got called very bad names. And obviously, people don't want to be friends with me because I was black and I spoke Afrikaans. And then the other side, the black children also don't want to be friends with me because I was black and I spoke Afrikaans. So that shaped the way I started thinking about myself. So I started looking for acceptance in all the wrong places, in all the wrong things. I did a lot of things just to find acceptance from people. So I started playing netball, instruments, ballet, modern dancing, you name it, I did it. And then, when I figured, okay, but I had enough of this, I just dropped it. And I did all of these things just to get people to accept me. And it went through like that. I went to high school, but back in primary school, I discovered something called land service. It was very, very interesting. There's a lot of camps and stuff. So it's like an adventure thing, almost like scouts, but not quite. So I started doing that, and I found the first place that I felt safe and I could be myself. So I made friends there, and people really accepted me for just the person I am. So that happened. Then I also became a prefect in primary school. I was very excited about that. And also for land service, I also became I went to the national camp, so I got the highest achievement in the primary school for that land service. Went to high school, basically the dynamic was the same, except I decided in high school I'm going to do something about my life. I didn't do any sports or anything in primary school, and I'm going to do sports. So I started doing cheerleading. Eventually cheerleading took way too much of my time, and I didn't have time to pursue any of my other passions. So then I decided to play netball, I did drama, I did musical, I sang in the choir, I was on the redaction of the newspaper editing team. I did debate, I did public speaking. I also was a leader in my high school, a prefect. I was a district leader for my land service. I got honorary colors in high school, and I also got Springbok colors for land service. So all of those achievements sounds great. However, high school was not that easy. I experienced a lot of critique as well, a lot of fake friendships, and a lot of, how can I say, abandonment basically from people just going on about their lives, and I felt out most of the time. I felt like an outcast during high school. So in my grade 11 year, I had depression because of friends. And I just felt like, I don't even want to go out of my house anymore and, just be ridiculed by the world and by these children who just think they're better than me. So obviously, so that happened. But in that dark time, through it all, God has really been good. In that dark hole, I found myself in grade 11. God reached out his hand and he said, Monica, come out of that hole. So walk with me on this journey. Don't give up. So I took God's hand and we got out of that hole. And that's the year I got the most achievements ever. I cleaned the trophy table, and it was just really, really amazing. Matric year, I was a leader. I did all of these things, but obviously I scaled down on my activities. And then the time came for university, and I decided to go a complete different direction than any other people because I wanted to basically escape from these children and from the hurt and the pain I felt at that time. So I decided to go all the way to Bloemfontein at the University of the Free State. So I enrolled there. I enrolled there to study law, and I enrolled in a 5-year program. So so my first year I did basically just, it was basically like matric all over again. I had like maths and computer science and all these things. And obviously I was not good at math, so that's why I was in a 5-year program. So then I spent 3 years in Bloemfontein, and then after that I decided to transfer to the University of Pretoria, Tuks. Also still pursuing law, but because of me transferring, I got an extra year, and that takes my studying of law now up to 6 years. So I'm still in Pretoria and I'm still studying law. And I've met incredible people. I've met incredible people in Bloemfontein from the Shofar Church. They're really an incredible organization. They really felt me. They made me feel like it was home. So I really like that, and they accepted me just the way I am. And I've been with Shofar ever since. But if it was not for my parents and my family and incredible people, my dad is a pastor. So he has his own church, and it is called Woord en Lewe Centrum. And these are incredible people who form part of my journey. They prayed for me. They stayed on their knees. When times were rough, they prayed. I mean, I've never met people that can pray like that before. And it's really amazing to know that, that I meant something to them. So I'm really, really fortunate for all of them. I'm fortunate for my brothers and my sister and my entire family who just took me in and accepted me. So yes, my life was a little bit rough, but it was not out without challenges. But through it all, God has been there for me. If it was not for God, then where would I have been? So I get to live my life in remembrance. And that is one of my favorite songs, is Remembrance, because I get to remember every day. I get to remember what great things God did for me. And if it was not for God, then I wouldn't have been here. So my philosophy now is just to move forward and to not look back, because my future is so bright. But you cannot take your past with you into your future. You need to let go of your past so that you can move on to a brighter and a better future. And I just want to tell you guys, if you don't have God in your life, then I don't see your future being bright, because God is the light that you need to brighten up that future. And with God in my life, I've been fortunate enough to know God from a young age and to have met him from such a young age. If it was not for God, who keeps on saving my life, and he still keeps on saving my life, then I wouldn't have been the person I am here, sitting telling you guys this story today. This is just a little bit of the story actually, but God has done so many more things in my life, and I'm incredibly fortunate to be in this position. I have people who love me, people who care about me, and people who accept me just the way I am. And first of all, I have God, who never given up on me, who has never let me down, and he keeps on holding my hand and he's never let me go. So please guys, look to God. When the storms are brewing, look up and know that you are not alone. God is with you. He will not leave you. He is for you, not against you. He just wants you to just love him and just to accept him. So yeah, so thank you so much guys for listening to this, my segment today. I hope that I really inspired some of you guys to know that it doesn't matter where you come from. The only thing that matters is where you're on your way to. So yeah, thank you so much guys. Have a good day. Bye.